everyone, and welcome to another episode of Loud Pigment, our youth-led podcast brought to you by Bausi Creative Action for Conservation. And today we have Shamsudeen here, who is the 2024 True Blue Fellowship Grantee and the 2026 Future Blue Council member. And yeah, hi Shamsudeen, how are you doing today?
Hi Malika, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. And Shamsuddin is a very inspiring activist who uses poetry, art to educate his community on environmental issues. He's done a lot of projects on this, and he's going to talk about them today. So let's start with the questions now. What is one book, a media piece, or a movie that lives in your mind rent-free?
It's actually a book. It's Jumpstart Your Productivity by Shondor. So it has changed my mindset on a lot of things relating to productivity, time management, project management, and what.
Oh, that's a nice one. And what is your favorite water animal and why?
My favorite water animal will be dolphin because it's an animal that I view as a smart, social, and creative. So
Oh yeah, that's a nice one. I saw a lot of videos of them helping people and just yeah, they're very intelligent.
hey there,
And what is one thing that makes you happy right now?
I'll say making impact.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like all of us who are part of Bausi, we're all this like big fans of making impact and doing work that affects people. Um, yeah. So let's start from the beginning. Where did your advocacy start? How did you develop this interest for poetry and art and just creative environmental activism?
Yeah, Malika, thank you so much for the question. All non-governmental organizations, non-profit organizations, as they are often called in the US, um, they are geared towards solving one particular problem or the other. When the world is all cool and no one is facing any challenge, everyone is fully aware of their rights, everyone is fully aware of what is expected of them, then there will be absolutely no need for non-profits to establish themselves. So mine is not different from the normal way of how we view nonprofits. It's a nonprofit organization that I established with the sole aim of creating environmental awareness. I said to myself, we cannot go about talking about climate action, SDG 13, climate action, without first of all instilling in the people a mindset that will provide an absolute orientation of why they should take climate action. So in my community, there was a research that I came across that only 27% out of the 20 million people of my state, we have a population of over 20 million people as estimated recently, and only 27% of this population are aware of what climate change is. So you cannot talk to someone who doesn't know what climate change is. You cannot inspire him to plant trees. You cannot tell him to clean the ocean. You cannot tell him to reserve energy or to recycle. So I took it upon myself to see, okay, let me try my own way in saying that we create awareness about our environment and through advocacy. And I decided to digress from the normal, conventional, and traditional way of doing things. We are used to boring presentations, statistics, and whatever. They are too complex for my generation, for mine and Malika's generation. Let me also accommodate you in this context. So it's not so engaging to us. So that's why I thought of a way of using arts as an alternative to traditional science communication to creating awareness about climate change. We started as eco poets in 2023, where we used poetry and spoken words to inspire people to take action, not just inspire them to, but also inform them about their environment, to know what climate change entails and what have you, and also inspire them to take climate action. So that was how it all began, and we transformed into eco creatives. And now we do not just use poetry; we use all spheres of arts in saying that we create awareness about the environment.
Wow, this sounds like such an amazing project. And I also worked on the True Blue Fellowship video, and I saw the videos that you sent to Bauseed featuring your EcoPoets project, and it seemed so impactful, and so many people were involved, and it was so amazing. So, is there a favorite memory that you have from maybe participating in the True Blue Fellowship, or maybe from the project itself?
Yeah, from both the fellowship experience and the project itself, I have gained a lot of experiences that have shaped the project itself. For example, let me think of there are plenty actually, but let me just think of a few. Maybe let's say there was a time that as one of the challenges that I foresaw before embarking on the project was that maybe some schools, to give you an introduction of the project was not only about creating awareness via social media or content. Apart from that, we go to schools. We go to schools. We have gone to 36 schools across Kano State and enlightened over 5,600 students. So in this part of the world, my community, we have that let me say, resistance to this kind of things. So I thought I would have a challenge implementing my project. But then once I sent a letter introducing myself as a BioSeed fellow, like I received all the warm reception that I never thought I would receive. So this is to show you that if you never can tell without trying. So had it been I hadn't gotten the opportunity to try, I wouldn't have known that it would have been this easy. So the fellowship experience gave me that. And particularly about the fellowship, there were a lot of aspects about the project that I still benefit from because I'm currently a Future Blue Youth Council member, and it was because I participated in that fellowship. I now mentor fellow environmentalists on how to go about the projects across the globe and what have you. And there was a particular session that was introduced in the Future Blue Youth Council in the fellowship during my fellowship time that was about you talking to a mentor. I had two mentors, and they all helped me a lot in saying that the impact of my project was given the visibility that it's deserved. There were blog posts published about my project, and I went on to have a lot of accolades from my experience as a fellow. So it was a worthy and richful experience.
Yes, I feel like Bauseeds programs, they really do change our lives because we connect with each other and we talk about all these issues that worry us, or we also work together to solve these issues. And yeah, you did say that you're now a part of the Future Blue Council and you've been a part of it for around 7 months now.
Yeah.
How do you this experience? Do you already have like a favorite memory? And just generally, how do you like being a part of this program?
Yeah, Bausit occupies a special spot in my heart because it was that organization that gave me, that believed in my project and said after a lot of applications and stuff like that, I couldn't get that tap that I needed. It was Bausit that gave me that, and I owe it that. So when the opportunity for me to apply for the FBYC membership came, I took it wholeheartedly and I gave it my all, and yes, I was selected as a Fisher Blue Youth Council member. So the contribution that I give to this community gives me that immense satisfaction that yes, I'm giving back to the community that has given me everything in terms of in my environmental journey. So there are a lot of memories that still lingers in my heart. For example, I will say I will say the projects that I'm currently working on. One is a project, Dying for Change project. It's based here in Nigeria, and the other one is Desert Bloom, which is based in the UK. And the communication that I maintain with this vibrant youth that are engaging in these creative projects have really shaped my mind, and I have learned a lot from them. And apart from that, I have spoken about Bausit in a lot of engagements that I had personally here at home. Just recently, I was invited by the Junior Council International Bio University Kano Chamber to talk to the students about mental health and how arts can help in advocating for mental health. And I introduced to them the True Blue Fellowship and Bausit. So I feel like I'm truly making impact in this space.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned using arts for mental health, for improving young people's mental health. So my question would be, what role does art play in your personal life?
Yeah, like art has grown to become my a part of my daily routine because I strongly believe in it. I strongly believe in the impact and potential that it has on making impact in our community, especially the younger generation, and seeing that it enlightens them about some certain stuff. So I definitely use art in my day-to-day activities. There are a lot of things that I resort to not using not using the conventional means, but using creative means like through photography, documentary, and stuff like that, short films. It has changed my dimension on a lot of things. And that has gained the momentum that I gained was through the confidence that I gained through the project, my EcoPoise project, which I saw firsthand how how art could impact lives, how art could communicate change and what have you. So I write poetry at my spare time. I perform poetry. For example, the event that I told you about, I recited a poem, and they were very excited about it because they never looked at mental health from that artistic perspective. I projected it in such a from such an angle and perspective, and they're very much happy about it. So I think art is taking over the world, and we are the champions of making that revolution happen.
That's true. I agree 100% with that. How would you say all these projects that you do kind of translate into your education? Are you currently a student? Are you involved maybe in environmental science at college? Can you share more about this experience?
Yes, when I got the here we call it university in the US, it's college, right? So like when I got the True Blue Fellowship, I was in my third year of college. So like the experience was it was a bit demanding because and there was a lot of anxiety involved. I remember talking to a lot of people about having meetings maybe I think before I got selected, there was an interview that I had with Jeremy and Susan, and there was a lot of anticipation around that. So like I had to find a way of balancing between my college life and my environmental advocacy journey and all the outreaches that I embarked on throughout the project. I did it as a college student. I graduated from college last year. So before then, I was actively involved in Bauxite activities, or rather environmental activities generally, while I was a student in college. Now I currently work as a programs assistant in at the development space, working particularly with development research and project center as a consultant program assistant. And part of my things involves going to communities and enlightening them, not just about the environment, but about other developmental aspects and conducting a lot of research that revolves around this area because I believe that is my calling. That's what I'm currently pursuing.
That sounds amazing. And you said you had to do all of these environmental projects while being in college. So can you give maybe a time management tip for all the people who want to combine all these hobbies and also college?
Yes, I always tell my peers down here because I believe, unlike other countries in Nigeria, we have that stigma of, okay, so person is in college, let him concentrate on college alone, let him not digress himself, let him focus on graduating from college first. But by the time you graduate from college, there are other things that your mind will be geared towards. So by that time, you'll be so much encompassed with a lot of things that you have to deal with, and there will be no time for you to give back to your community. So, what I always say is college associations to try as much as possible to engage this youth in extracurricular activities, specifically about giving back to the community. I studied law at Bayero University, Kano, and during my time, I engaged in a lot of extracurricular activities. I was not able to graduate with the one of the top grades, of course, maybe as the price that I would have to pay for not focusing 100% on that. But it's one decision that if I'm to relive my life again and again and again, I will choose this path because I there's no iota of regret in that because you will enrich your experience, you'll enrich your curriculum vitae, you will get to polish your communication skills, your advocacy skills, your project management skills, and these soft skills, they are what gives one contentment in this life. It's not about the qualifications that you have. No, it's about what you know. It's about how you can get things done the way they are supposed to be done. So this is my take regarding balancing college and advocacy.
I agree with you on this because also in my country, and I'm from Kazakhstan, we also have this stigma where adults kind of expect students to just be perfect students, only doing college, only doing university. But I also agree that it's good to have a lot of things going on and not only focus on college, on university, because developing those extra skills is more important than only having only top grades. So I feel like for everyone who's watching and they are wondering if it's hard to balance it, it's not hard to balance at all. Whether you want to get involved in future True Blue Council or True Blue Fellowship, everything, like you can do this, you can combine it and just balance it all. And you seem like such an experienced and person in creative activism and also just this like youth leader. What advice would you give to all the change makers who are just in the beginning of their journey, or maybe people who want to start being environmental activists?
Yeah, what I would say is you should not do your work in order to please the international community. That's what I always say. You should look inwards and analyze the whole situation on ground. It's not about being a founder of an organization. That's not the goal. The goal should be about making impact. I always say this. Had it been before I started my initiative, there was another initiative that was doing something similar to mine. I wouldn't bother myself doing this work. I will just volunteer with them or maybe find a position with them. But the trend has now become okay, everyone is passionate about building his own initiative. We are not focused on the real impact. What I want us is to embark on a mindset reorientation journey and seeing that we transit from viewing it as an opportunity for me to be a leader or to lead a team than an opportunity for me to make an impact. And an impact can be made anywhere, anytime, and from whatever position. So that is my take on environmental advocacy as it relates to our youth.
Yes, that sounds amazing. And this is such a good advice to focus first of all on what bothers you and your own community and collaborating to, yeah, to make impact. Can you share what are you up to now? Are there any future projects that you're planning or already working on? And is there maybe someone that you would like to collaborate with in case they watch this video? Like you can definitely kind of give this shout out to someone who you want to work with in case, yeah, in case they watch this episode.
And maybe that could be Malika. So to answer your question about our future plans, yes, we are very ambitious at Eco Creatives. We are not satisfied with the impact that we have had. It's just a test run for us, and we want to go big, 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 and bigger. I always say this: we don't have the resources and the magnitude and the energy to reach out to all the schools that we have in Nigeria. We cannot do that. So to be realistic, what we want to do is to publish an anthology, a collection of eco poems that even without an agent from Eco Creatives, you have access to our anthology that will inform you about your environment, that will inform you about how you need to go about with your environmental advocacy journey and climate action generally. So that is one of our goals. And secondly, we have creatively introduced the first ever poetry workshop in Northern Nigeria that is geared towards particularly polishing the skills of creative artists on how they can embark on environmental advocacy. Yes, we held the Green Pen workshop in 2025 January, and we are supposed to hold the second edition this time, but we are still yet to hold it maybe by the end of the year. And this time around, we want to expand it to cut across all spheres of creative arts, because of course now we are eco creatives and not eco poets. We are going beyond poetry. We want to line up facilitators from across all spheres of creative arts, ranging from short films, photographs, podcasts, writing, and poetry itself, in saying that we line up all these indigenous creative artists, young indigenous creative artists from Kano State, to see that they receive information about how they can and get informed about their own environment and then translate it into the creative arts and go viral through various social media platforms that they can spread across the world. After all, it's not about the message coming from us alone. We just want the message to be passed, whether it's coming from Eco Creatives or Malika or any other person. It's not our problem. What we want is for the message to be conveyed. That's what we are planning.
Yeah, that sounds so amazing. And thanks so much for your work. And I'm almost sure that your project is going to get bigger and bigger and it's going to impact so many more people.
I forgot my shout out, Malika. I would say it will be the United Nations Environmental Policy. Yes, because they have a consortium of a lot of environmental projects that I would love to collaborate with, and any other organization or individual that is passionate about the intersection of arts and creative arts, particularly in Africa. So thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, amazing. And hopefully next episode, maybe in a year or even earlier, we'll have you as a speaker from United Nations where you're going to be sharing you have so many projects with them. Yeah, keeping my fingers crossed for that. Yeah, and then the final question would be now you can say hi to someone that might watch this video from maybe your friends or maybe council members, just someone who you'd like to, yeah, just say hi to.
Who will I say hi to? There are a lot of people. I would like to say hi to my team down here in Nigeria, Mariam Dauda, Al Mustafa, Aliyu Salisu, Muhammad Saji, Khadija Nasser, and yes, generally, because they are actually the backbone of this project. Sometimes I'm not even alone. I'm not even around, sorry, and they will carry out projects independently because that passion has been transferred into them and it's on a volunteer basis. So we are in this together.
It's just very amazing to see all these amazing projects happening and taking place. And yeah, obviously thanks to your hard work and to your team. And yeah, and Bausid as well for giving us those opportunities to feature our projects and talk about them. That was pretty much it from my questions. And thank you so much for participating in this podcast. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you for the opportunity, Malika. Thank you so much.